All right, check one more time. Can you hear us?
Check, yeah. Oh, I can hear myself.
Oh,
I can hear you.
wait. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear everybody, yeah.
All heard.
Okay.
Everybody's good? All right, cool. All right, welcome everybody. You are listening to Verano Eterno on UCLAradio.com with your co-host DJ Nestalgic.
And DJ LA.
Yeah, and we're very lucky to have some very special guests in our station today. We just had the band Copán perform. They are an LA-based, Miami-born instrumental duo band that infuses Cuban music with punk, noise, and... Did I sum it up about right?
That's perfect, man.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, but thank you so much for coming, y'all. Would y'all like to just quickly introduce yourself, just your names and where you're from and stuff?
Yeah, sure. My name is Joan. I play drums and I do some other looping stuff, cowbells and whatnot. And this is Jordan.
Yeah, and I'm Jordan. I play guitar. I just try to
Keep up.
keep up with my friend over here.
Nice. All right, awesome. So, first question, just for our interview, we just wanted to ask you, where are y'all from, or where's your family from?
Yeah. Oh, and happy birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Jordan.
We're from Miami, both of us.
Yeah.
I technically I was born out of Florida, but I grew up in Miami since 4 years old on, so 21. And Johan was born and bred there.
Born and raised, baby.
And then we were living in Miami. We grew up there with all of its traditions and its influences. And then we moved to New York for a little while, around 2013. And then around 2016 moved to LA, so almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, and then in terms of the backgrounds, we have mixed backgrounds, but the one that we share is the Cuban background.
Oh,
That's what we have in common.
Mm-hmm. And, y'all mentioned to me earlier before the show that for the longest time, or since y'all reached out, I thought you guys were brothers, but that's not exactly true, is it?
No, it's
What? I thought we were
I know.
brothers.
it's a white lie that we tell people.
Yeah.
Because people often used to see us together and they would say, oh, you guys are brothers, right? Especially when we lived in New York.
Mm-hmm.
When we lived, well, I'm not going to get into it, but basically people who didn't know us would be like, oh, you guys are brothers. And we would say, no, we're neighbors, which makes no sense as an answer to that statement. Mm-hmm. And then we eventually just started saying we're cousins, and then finally we just accepted it. And then...
It's just easier,
Yeah.
we grew up together. We've known each other
Yeah.
for almost 14 years, 13,
Literally.
14 years.
Oh.
So it's we are ostensibly brothers,
yeah, we help each other in our hangovers, and
Yeah.
we threw a party together
That's
yesterday.
funny.
Had some friends over. Thank you for everybody that came. If anybody's listening.
Yeah. And y'all are actually going to celebrate your birthday. This is the continuation after you guys get out of the radio station, right?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
this has included everything.
I
It's
told
been a
them.
really fun weekend for me. So
We'll
I'm
be at the
happy.
beach. If anybody wants to come through, just hit me up.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be there. Right after.
Instagram or whatever.
Okay, what beach?
Oh, probably we'll go to Playa del Rey
Oh,
because they got free parking.
That's true.
Playa del free parking.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. So I really appreciate how y'all integrate music from your Cuban heritage, and how it's heavily influenced your music. So do you have any favorite Cuban artists or
Oh. How
A
much
couple.
time? Let's see.
You got-
Number one is gonna be Selena y Reutilio, which is they're chill. They don't play music like the kind of music that we draw from.
Yeah.
They're an amazing band. It's a singer. There's two singers. They play guitar. It's like country music basically. Los Bamban is a awesome band. They've been around since the 60s. They're still together. So they have 7,000 records. And then and then a lot of stuff from the New Yorican scene, when all the Puerto Rican people and everyone started moving to New York, like Fania and all that stuff. And then there's a lot of stuff. It depends which street you want to go down, basically. 'Cause there's different channels.
Oh, okay.
That's dope. Yeah. And then another question, I guess also related to your to y'all's just personal background and stuff. So you do mention just with the description of your band and stuff that it's infused with punk. And I know that y'all are from two demographics. It's just Miami, Florida, and then Los Angeles. Did y'all associate yourselves with the punk scene early on? And if so, from was it a punk scene from Florida or more so in LA? Or
It
did
was
you?
more, more Miami based.
Yeah.
It's something we grew up in.
Yeah.
Johan more so than I. He actually introduced me to the music. I mean, my appreciation for music comes from my introduction to punk rock and all these things, and then wherever that branches off naturally. But yeah, we got I don't know exactly where he started. I assume. Like,
I usually-
where else would you have been? But
Yeah, I mean, I started going to shows when I was like 11 or something, and then whenever I move somewhere, the first thing I do is I try to find like a punk show or something, because I just find that's the easiest way to integrate myself into things.
it's generally the friendliest scene too.
Yeah, and there's other channels and stuff like that, but that's one that I always feel comfortable. So when I moved here, like maybe the third day I was here, I was already like volunteering to do Sound of the Smell and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a cool place, and I was living in K-Town, so it wasn't too far. But yeah, and then in New York is we were like in an interesting mix of
Predicament.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So we're more like in the art noise stuff
Yeah.
in New York.
Which actually, I mean, it was really cool, and I personally still to this day draw a few things from it.
Yeah,
And,
no,
you
of
know,
course.
everything's a learning experience, kind of.
Spent 3 years there, right? Something had to stick.
Would y'all like to say that there's a lot of like Latinx or like Cuban like punkeros and anywhere that like y'all grew up around and stuff, like, or was it like what was that demographic like?
Nah, I mean, it's funny because in Miami, like basically everyone is Cuban.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's like an unspoken thing.
Yeah, it's
so,
like so close.
Yeah, it's like it's something where you don't really think about like let's say here you're growing up here and then everybody you know is Mexican, so you don't really think like, oh, he's like a Mexican punk. You just think he's a punk because he's regular, right? So that's what it was in Miami. Everybody is basically Cuban or South American, but a lot of Cuban people, and we didn't really think about that until we left Miami, because when we left Miami, all of a sudden we were faced with so many different kinds of people that we were able to see ourselves more clearly in these like categories and like how mixed up we were. But when we were in Miami, we were just like, nah, man, I'm regular. Like, we never thought about it.
That's for sure.
And here, I don't know, because here
It's a little more like Miami. It's more comfortable. I mean, that's
but different demographic.
same
totally.
feeling too. Same sense of
Yeah.
like being outside of, like
It's-
being in your own demographic.
Yeah.
Outside of like a populace.
If we were from here, we would just be mixing our music with like cumbia or something. You know, it's just the opposite.
Yeah. And then also just like we're shifting more towards like just like questions about your music and stuff. So just a quick rewrap for the listeners for your set on live in the station. It was, you started with Guaguantecno, and then followed by Oshwitik,
Yeah.
and then Cobre, and then Gaborka, right?
Perfecto. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a certain meaning to those song titles?
Yeah. Obviously, we don't sing or anything like that. So it's nothing like that. But Guaguantecno is, I took the word Guaguancó, which is a style of rumba,
Yeah.
Cuban style. And then we, like, it's just a lot of stuff
It's
we
a
do.
bunch of synths over, so
Electronic, yeah, it's a lot of
techno.
synth. So we mixed it with techno. I made a hat.
There's one
It's
hat.
a whole thing. Yeah, so Guaguantecno, Oshwitik is, Copán is a city in present-day Honduras. It was like a Maya city. And,
yeah, it is.
its original name is Oshwitik, which nobody knows what it means. It means three somethings. They don't know what the something part is. And then, what's the third one? Cobre is a longer story, but it has to do with La Caridad de Cobre, which is like a patron saint it's the patron saint of Cuba, who's like a syncretized virgin, basically. So she's got like a Catholic origin, she has an African origin, and she has a Taino origin. And so Cobre is just what we use, and it's also a reference to skin color. And then finally, what was the last one? Caborca. Caborca is just, it's the middle section of a really long song. And at the time when we were naming that song, we had both read The Savage Detectives. And it's just somewhere deep in that book, when they go to the north part of Mexico to find Cesaria Tinajera, or Tinajero, I can't remember.
Tinajera, I think.
There, she's allegedly in Caborca. And, you know, but we
Wasn't
have no
that the
connection.
name of the literary magazine, too, of hers?
Was that the name of the
I
magazine?
think it was the name of the magazine
Oh,
that she
you're right,
wrote,
you're
like
right,
whatever,
you're right.
4
Yes.
copies or whatever she published.
Yeah, so that one's more like just
Yeah.
like a grab from more modern culture. Yeah.
Cool.
This was fun.
And also, Jan, you were telling me that you study at LMU before the show, and that you're actually a grad student focusing on Caribbean literature. Is that right?
Yep.
Is that what you study and
Your music.
Yeah, does that ever
Yeah.
influence like your music, or just like the direction of your band, or like especially like just like the titles that you were just describing right now?
Yeah, deeply. I have like, and you know, Jordan's not in school, but we have lots of conversations. We have long discussions for hours with or without beer. And, you know, we just talk about different concepts that'll come up, or he'll tell me different things, and then we just get into it. And we sort of like, we naturally play music, and then we theorize after the fact about it, and then that helps us do like little tweaks, like change a name or figure out a better narrative for the album. But it really does influence a lot of it, because like I was telling you before, it's a big knot, and I like it like that. I knot it together on purpose.
Yeah.
So like if I have a project for school about a book, I'm going to talk about, you know, drums and rumba, and make that fit the book report or whatever I'm doing. We don't do book reports, but but I mix it up on purpose, and it's all like that.
But yeah, that's dope. That like I really like how y'all like were overlap just like the many kind of things that you do like outside of your band, and just the various hats that you wear, you know.
True.
It's really cool. And then next question.
Yeah, like, can you tell us a little bit about your newest track? How do you say it?
Guaguantecno.
Yeah. Specifically, like, how would you describe like the new direction like y'all are trying to go in?
Because I did notice that y'all have like kind of a small like 2-year gap between like the before Guaguantecno was like 2016, and then you took like a little hiatus, and then you came with this thing, and the song, it sounds like comparing it to like your other tracks, it sounds like you had added like much more elements, especially like with heavier synths.
There's more experimentation with percussion for sure.
Yeah.
On his end, I think he spent so much time reading about it and learning about it that he's very quickly arriving to a point, I think now, and he's gonna get better, arriving to a point where he has a really rich understanding of the traditions that he then, you know, tweaks or incorporates, inherits, whatever. And I think I've always felt like Guaguantecno took more of a, like something of almost of a pop direction. It's not poppy, but it's more uplifting. The Outskirts was a bit darker, more dragged out, kind of like it's not clumsy, but it's just like it's cumbersome. It's a big record, you know. And this one is more like we try to like shed some of that skin and sort of like lightly jump around and still, you know, play music, but something that's a little more engaging. And we've been writing stuff for the last 2 years. This is just the first thing we recorded since then. The first thing we really felt strongly about finishing. It's always going to be changing, but so there was no hiatus. It was just like hibernation, focus, you know.
It's a hibernation of like the people who are watching us more so than anything, because we're always making stuff, and you know, we can only put stuff out as fast as our pockets will allow us.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're super independent, and we do everything ourselves. We don't ask anybody for anything. And, you know, if you do, that's fine. But it's just the way we do it. It honestly, it helps us make better material, I think, because it takes us so long. It's like getting a tattoo. Like, it takes me a long time to save up money to get a tattoo. So I really have a lot of time to think about that tattoo that I'm going to get. Like, I make the drawing, and then 5 years later, it pops up on my body. Yeah. So it's like that with our records, too. We just, you know, we need time. And Jordan, he develops his guitar sounds in different ways than I develop my drum sounds. Yeah. So we always have to, like, meet at a strange point, somewhere in the middle. Yeah. It's a good balance.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And, like, speaking of your guitar, I'm not very well-versed, like, with, like, equipment, lingo and stuff, but, like, I saw y'all have, like, a lot of pedals that you work with, and, like, do you, like, is one of them, like, a distortioner, or, like...
Yeah, I have, what I really carry with me is what I consider to be, like, just the bare minimum of what I would need. I mean, I can just play a regular guitar without any pedals, but essentially what I have there is one distortion pedal, a fuzz pedal, and a phaser, a wah, a fun little envelope filter just to do a bunch of weird stuff, a little noise box as well, and then a gain boost and delay, of course, because I'm a big fan of delay.
Yeah, half of them are broken.
And half of them, those things are...
So sometimes they have added bonus effects.
Yeah, right. I mean, sometimes they change from the positive, other times they just, like, don't change for the positive. And I've had those for years, and that's kind of, like, the core of what I work with. And then if I want to do something else, I combine and, you know, move around with them. I have other pedals at home that sometimes I'll bring to shows or practice, and I'll play with, too. But that's kind of, like, the bare bones of the guitar sound.
Yeah, I was telling Johan that like I kind of sense like a Bauhaus vibe with some of your songs, particularly the song like Figura en la Tierra, if I'm saying that right. And I was just wondering if like y'all were influenced by them, like because they're like more the goth post-punk kind of band. It's just like the way that you like use those equipment.
I personally wasn't influenced by them. No, I just like uncomfortable sounds.
But it's
I
hard
like
to say too because
harshness.
you know, like when we lived in New York, we'd had Bauhaus out a lot in the background.
Yeah, I mean that stuff always, like anything in life, that definitely bled into my understanding of music or my appreciation of certain things, but maybe even just unknowingly.
Yeah,
Because it was playing in the house a lot in New York.
It's sort of like
Which wasn't me.
it's hard to. I think you could probably there's like very few bands that you could say to us if we've heard them that didn't somehow make it in, but yeah, I'll give you a crazy list, and somehow Copán will come out of that list. But Bauhaus would be somewhere on that list.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Okay. Now that y'all are talking about like music influence, I was wondering if you guys came from a strong musical background growing up, and yeah, we can start off with that question.
I didn't know. I mean, there's always music playing in the house, but by virtue of just our heritage.
Being a person,
Yeah, being a person as well.
listening
like,
to music.
my mother, starts cleaning on Sundays. Something's going on the stereo.
Oh, yeah.
But no one in my family plays music. I'm the only one that I know of.
Same thing for me.
Yeah, no one else. Not even like a casual guitar player somewhere, like a nephew or a cousin or something.
Yeah.
So and I'm self-taught. You're self-taught. Yeah, just learn by
It just
ear.
happened, man. It just
Yeah.
happened. We were just in the right
It's like
place.
our friendship. Just
It just happened. Well, no, that was because one day you just showed up at my house.
That's right. Well, you
Guy.
also you staked me out, and you didn't stake me out, but like you came up to me in the field.
When in the
middle
field?
school.
What'd I
Oh,
say?
'cause all your friends got transferred out of PE, and you were like, "Hey, we're friends now."
Oh,
Yeah, something like that.
Because what happened was
Was
that
it after the
Sweet.
house thing?
No, everybody. I can't remember when that happened.
Yeah, it was-
That sounds like a traumatic memory for you. But basically, all my friends got sent to reading out of PE. They got remedial reading, and then I was by myself, and then I was with Jordan. And then one day I told Jordan my address, and he was like, "I think that's close to me." And then he just showed up at my house one day. I got home from a soccer game. I was eating like McDonald's or something. I don't know. I remember we were like 12, and then he just like my dad or my mom came to my room. They were like, "Yohan, there's some kid here for you. Like his name is Jordan. This is before phones, and he's like knocking on the door."
Oh yeah, can y'all come and play? Like,
Yeah,
that's how it was
exactly.
before we had
Yeah.
phones, like,
Exactly. And then I'm like, Jordan, who is Jordan?
damn.
And then when I get to the kitchen, which is like I took 3 steps, and I could see the door, and I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, come on, let's go.
Oh, this is
And it's everything. The rest is history, whatever they say.
And then you put on suicidal tendencies, and
Suicidal.
Yeah.
now we're here.
that's what's
That's all I
up.
needed. Just a story about us and Pepsi.
All right, that's cool. Wait, just curious, y'all. When's your birthday?
February 29th.
Oh, it's Pisces and Cancer.
Yeah.
Water signs vibing.
Yep.
Alright, that's all.
You know how many people tell us that?
Yeah,
That we're all watery.
That's
we're all
us.
water
That's
signs,
us.
yeah,
He's a
we're
Cancer,
water- Oh, yeah?
and I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, we should go to the beach, man.
I know, be in our element.
Yeah. What else are you up to besides music? Like any hobbies, careers?
You go first.
Well, I am studying to get my sommelier certification, actually. So I'm about 2 years down the line of like serious focus for that. So I drink a lot of wine, study a lot of it, go to tastings, go to dinners, go to events, all these things. Essentially go to
That's
school
dope.
for wine, but it's all independent because that's just the nature of the certification. There's no school. There's no curriculum. They like, here's a sort of a syllabus, more like a suggested reading list, and it's like, figure it out. But people on the line to help you. People have taken the test, guide you. I do that as my career focus, and when I finish that certification, I'll then do that work more than I currently do, which I do a lot already. Other than that, I mean, I like to read a lot, play music. That's about it.
Yeah.
For hobbies and like serious hobbies and serious career tracks. I mean, there's other stuff I like to do, but
Yeah. For me, I just I work in teaching Spanish, so I'm like an independent Spanish teacher. So I just go around and I teach people Spanish, and then when I'm not doing that, I'm either making music for Copán or for my project Navaja, or I'm writing or something, like creative writing or doing technical writing for school or something, like critical writing. But I'm just like a little factory.
Alright.
There's like with like no off switch.
That's what's up.
seriously.
Yeah.
All right. And this is, I guess, more of a lighter question. If you had the opportunity to collaborate with like any artist or band, like either living or dead, or just like broken up, who would it be and why? Or Or
I mean,
do y'all agree with the same band, or
Possibly.
could have
I mean,
individual?
I'm sure there's tons of people.
There's there's maybe like 4 names that came to my mind right now. One of the ones we're gonna share is
Omar Rodriguez Lopez
Yeah.
from the Mars Volta, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you'd even look in a direction, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
This guy's like
Actually, one
big
time
influence.
at a show in Atlanta, we went to Atlanta to see him,
I love
boss.
Atlanta.
and when he was walking up the stage, I looked at him, and he looked directly, like dead in the eyes at me, and I think we had a connection. But no, him and then DeAnthony Parks.
Oh yeah,
Who's
absolutely.
a drummer, so like collaboration could just be like I just like hold his sticks for him until he drops one or something. Yeah, he's really great. There's so
Saw
many
him
people.
recently too, like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, there's anybody. The thing that's cool about like I also really like to like if it's not too hard to make it happen. Like if we happen to be in the same room with another musician and they have another instrument, even if it's not their instrument. Like I'll pick up a guitar and I'll play guitar with somebody who plays trumpet, but there's a bass there. I'll play with whoever. I really like to do that because I value that the same, and you know that's another reason we can work at a really slow pace in Copán because we're not in a rush. Like we do not have prisa.
No, not at all. I mean, this is like you consider this to be like a life event. This is a project we're gonna keep working on until I don't know, my hands fall off or something.
Yeah.
Because,
Or I get
you know,
arthritis.
Like, yeah, like we're gonna remain friends. We're gonna keep making music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Oh, okay. So, what should we expect for your future projects, or is there anything up and coming?
Well, I guess the first thing we should say is that if you're listening from the East Coast, we're playing at Floyd in Miami on August 9th. And then if you're here in California, especially if you're in the Valley, we're playing in Tarzana August 30th. That's a Thursday. It's a free show. It's 21 and up, though. We're playing at Maui Sugar Mill Saloon, I think it's called, in Tarzana. And we're always open to shows. People in Los Angeles, hit us up.
Like, did y'all hear that?
Yeah,
Anybody was
just, you
listening?
know, if you want us to play, we'll do that.
happily
Yeah.
be there on
No,
time.
seriously, yeah, we love
tip
playing
the
shows and-
bartenders, make friends.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And then hopefully around this time next year, we'll have released a full-length record. So the rest of this year is dedicated to finishing that album. And then early next year is dedicated to saving the money to record it.
Yeah, it's a
And
whole
then-
endeavor.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have it. Maybe we'll make a video for Guaguantecno. Maybe we'll make a video for Caborca, which is old already, but whatever. I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's one of our favorite songs to play.
Yeah.
It's
So,
the last one we played.
and you can always catch me saying random things on Instagram.
Yeah, I look at your story like since I followed you, I was like, this guy's pretty cool. He's like
Oh,
really random.
It is random is the word.
Yeah.
It's fun though. I think it adds a nice like personal element
Yeah.
to an otherwise, you know, like straightforward professional Instagram. It's like there's a personality behind it. It's
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Even like I don't run it. I have my own personal one.
Yeah, he's always watching my stories.
even
He's like-
watching them. It's fun.
He's
Like,
always the first viewer.
Aw.
yeah. You know, you gotta
True homies.
priorities.
Yeah, well, those that's all the questions that I have for you all. Thank you so much for coming. Do you have any other questions for
I don't know. Do y'all have questions for us?
Yeah, or anything that
or-
you wanna
yeah.
say?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a beautiful campus. First time I ever came to Los Angeles. I came to UCLA. I never went to school here, but I just really like it. And I have a lot of questions. Some of them I already asked you before, because you said you were in the Chicano Studies program, and I just wanted to know. I guess it doesn't have to be a Chicano book, but what's like a really good novel that you read recently? Recently can be in the last 2 years.
Okay.
For you too.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, I think my winter quarter, because we go by quarters here, not semesters.
True.
I took a course on queer Chicano literature, and there was this one book that really stuck out to me. It was what was it? It was City of God.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, by I think it was Gil Quadros, and it was really dope. I just like how. Just the imagery that he uses, and like just it like the narrative, like he changes in the way that he, I don't know how it, like it's like kind of like I could describe it as like a collage. Like it's like third person, first person, and there's like a lot of realism, like magical realism in it too.
Cool.
And yeah, I just really liked also like the representation of like queer and Latino identities as well. You know, just from like my own identity as such. So it was like really awesome to kind of read that kind of literature and, you know, be exposed to that. And it was really dope. Really dope.
Yeah, man. If you want to read something that's really like early as you can be literarily queer, let's call it, you should read, it's not Latino at all, but it's you should read this guy named Jean Genet. He's a French guy. But you know who that is?
I think I've heard of I think like that same professor mentioned it, but he talked a lot about Foucault also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's also, wasn't he French also?
Yeah. He was French. Jean Genet was a little bit before Foucault, but you know, Jean Genet is a beautiful writer. You should read The Thief's Journal.
Okay.
It's a really good book.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, life changing.
So I don't really read a lot of novels.
That's all good.
But I do read a lot, and I think so far, because I'm also in education, but I'm also in Chicano studies. But I think now that I'm kind of kind of developing that identity as well, because I'm also half Guatemalan and half Mexican. Okay. And I know you said it right now, like LA is primarily Mexican, and I think right now, like the struggle for Central Americans is to be like, we're also here, because we've been here, you know, since the 80s. Yeah, there's a lot of LA is the biggest LA is where most of us are at, and I think now with like whole political news and stuff, like a lot of people are like, who are these Central Americans? So I think one of my favorite books right now is The Wandering Song, and it's a collection of poems by Central American poets over there and over here. And it's interesting to see them in conversation because the experiences that our parents went through in Central America is different than the experiences growing up here. And then I think being also half Mexican and like growing up in LA, it was easy for me to jump on that and be like, oh, I'm Mexican, or like Chicano, I'm Chicana. But I think now that I'm here in college and I'm meeting other Central American students who are also kind of like where's our political identity, where's our spaces? I think I'm reading more on that, and like honestly, like anybody is like, oh, this is a Central American book, it's written by author, I like jump on it. I'm like, oh, like
true.
It's very like limited, and it's like so far that's mostly what I've been reading on.
It must be fun to like uncover it and unravel it slowly for you.
Yeah,
I would think it'd be like an exciting thing to be doing every single day or whenever you get a chance to do it.
Yeah, and I feel like now that people
fulfilling.
are kind of hearing us out, there's definitely more like books being published, more media platforms being. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And I think that goes back to like the name Copán. I don't think I asked you like why did you choose that, because you did say that was a place in Honduras, but like you could have chosen any other name.
It's true. Well, I mean at the time, you know, when we started this band, it was 2011, and we were living in Miami, and we were starting to get into like a lot of indigenous kind of histories and different stuff like that. And, you know, we, as far as we know, don't have any connection to the Maya per se, but it's more like a throwback in the sense like just a reference to a pre-colonial time in general. Not in a sense like we need to go back to that. It's a little too late for that. But in a sense of just an awareness of it. But beyond that, Copán is a band that has like a whole intellectual, cultural project behind it, but we just don't have any lyrics. So we never, like, you know what I mean? People don't listen to it.
Nobody would know.
Yeah, you would have to, like, really read into things and be actually very interested or like, have a conversation with us about it. Yeah. But even beyond that, like, on the primary level, what we like about it is the same thing as our music is it's not about really what does this mean? Like, people always approach something and they say, what does this mean? What does this mean? If I don't know what it means, it has no value because I don't know how to appreciate it until I know what it means, which is, like, just one way of thinking, right? And it's the way that you've been, like, hardwired through school and all this stuff. But the question that I've been asking lately, or for a while now, is more like, what effect does it have? Like, what does it do to you? What does it make you want to do? So it's kind of like if you're, I don't know, somebody could say something to you and it might make you cry or it might make you smile, even if it doesn't mean something. You know, like I was telling somebody the other day that if you tell somebody I love you, it might mean like, in a different context, it might mean like, oh, you're so funny. In another context, it might mean like, yeah, I got your back. And, you know, it has different meanings, but it makes you feel a particular kind of way. And so when people watch us play and they listen to us, I wish that they could have that in their mind, more like this is happening to me and like what is it making me want to do, as opposed to like what does it mean, you know, like Velociraptor. Like I don't want to you know what I mean? So Copán is a lot that way. People, the first thing they ask us is, what does it mean?
Yeah.
And it's really the idea of Copán is more like, well, how does it make you feel? You know, because it's going to make you feel different. If you don't know how to pronounce it, you're going to be like, what's this? If you know how to pronounce it, you're like, And if you know what it's a reference to, then it'll make you feel more comfortable. It's a sonic. It's more about how you experience and respond to sounds, including the word Copán, you know, or a snare hit.
Yeah.
That's what our project is really about.
So you let the instruments and the music speak for itself.
Yeah, even if it's just going blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
it's how you respond to blah, blah, blah.
That's dope. Well, yeah. We really enjoyed your set, and we're like more than willing to support y'all in like any future endeavors that you have. So yeah, thank you so much for coming to the station.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, man.
Likewise, believe me.
You mind if we shout out our page really quick?
Oh,
yeah, of
yeah, for
course.
sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go off.
So the first thing is our Instagram is at Copán, Copan 305.
Yeah.
So Copán 305.
And I'll put it on the message board also.
Amazing.
nice.
And then you can find us on Spotify, but we're not popular enough if you just type in Copán. So you need to type in Copán and then Guaguantecno or any of our song names. Or you could just type in Guaguantecno, Guaguantecno, and you should get somehow to our page. And or you can go to copan.bandcamp.com.
All right.
That's it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Yeah, no
Is there
problem.
anyone
Thank you
else
so
you want to
much.
shout out? Like family, friends?
Oh, yeah. My mom, if you're listening. Hey.
I
What's
made
up?
it.
Yeah. Jordan's mom, if you're listening,
Yeah.
you know.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, anybody who's listening, thank you for taking the time out of your day. I hope you're having a really, really nice Sunday. You should go to the beach. If it's raining, maybe you should just watch a clip of the beach on YouTube after this interview. And yeah, man, just, you know, if you guys are listening, well, to be honest, we're going to keep doing it even if you're not listening. But if you're listening to us, it gives us a lot of energy. And it helps us actually buckle down, save the money, go to the studio, put the song out. Because without that, me and Jordan could just be playing music back and forth in a room for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
In isolation.
So that's always deeply appreciated,
So,
and it's
Awesome.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, support your local artists, y'all. But yes.
Besitos.
All right.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This
Thank you.
was Copán on Verano Eterno on UCLAradio.com. Thank you so much for listening.